Thank you for watching. This is MP5. I'm your host, Jordan Wendelken, and we are at the 5-Star Conference in Dallas, Texas. And I'm joined by Daniel Chilton, partner at RAS Legal, RAS Legal. How are you today?
Doing just fine, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, how's the conference been so far for you?
Surprisingly very good. I had high expectations for it. I knew a lot of time went into it with Gina and Jenny and Jonathan, and really getting it going, and to see it all sort of laid out and very organized, and you see people talking again and they're excited. I think that it's been a successful conference. So
you sat in a few panels yourself.
Correct.
Today any, or was it all yesterday?
All yesterday. Today, the way that these conferences, the way that it's so nice is that you have the Legal League, which really pulls in a lot of clients, a lot of law firms, clients, servicers, investors, and so on, even regulators. And then this day is really not just for if you want to attend an event like the Foreclosure Lab, or there's a lot of follow-up meetings with clients that perhaps you bumped into them yesterday and they want a little bit more time today.
Right.
So it's been a good one.
Well, we on the show so far haven't really delved too deeply in the legal realm, and that's why I'm excited to have you on today with your expertise. And we'll just go straight into it and talk about how you could basically best describe the state of the servicing marketplace.
Yeah, so as the economy goes, so goes the servicing industry. And we had a fantastic panel yesterday with some of the experts that were on that. They were able to speak to the nitty-gritty data, which was very good. And so as they would describe the economy right now, it's kind of in a lull to where we had a huge spike in January in terms of foreclosures. And because foreclosures, a lot of the folks you see here, a lot of the law firms are foreclosure law firms, a lot of the people from the banks and from the servicing industry, they're working on mortgages, right?
Yep.
And so from a foreclosure standpoint, we saw a spike in January, and then it kind of trailed off. And I think that this is the new norm. Someone predicted it, I think it was Rick yesterday, predicted around August, this time, end of Q2 2023, we should expect to see volumes trickle up until then, and then it gets back to a place of normalcy.
Really?
I think that it's maybe not artificially, but it's unnaturally probably 30% less than where it should be right now in terms of volume.
Interesting, right? Because I know that some people are gearing up for a potential foreclosure spike, whereas others are saying that they're waiting for it to level off.
I don't think that... I'm an optimist, so I have to shy away from being an optimist.
Sure.
I don't think that there will be a spike unless you see an increase in unemployment. That is the number one job factor right now, or the number one factor in the economy. Jobs historically low right now. If folks are unable to maintain jobs and have that income, I think it's going to turn very, very, very quickly.
And what about the potential hike in interest rates?
Of course, that's going to slow it down. That'll, of course, impact the realtors, right? And people's ability to afford. When you're talking about affordability, that's going to impact debtors and their ability to pay. But there are such great programs that are out there. We've had since the Great Recession, since 2008, 2009, since HAMP was introduced and really created a standardized loan modification program. We've had, over a decade to implement that from servicers, and they've done that very, very well. It's not that it's not still tricky, because new laws do come out.
Sure, and it's not like we have to be prepared for the unforeseen, but certainly taking from our playbook of the past, we've been through a lot.
Yes.
And that's really what it is it's taking what we have, it's inundating ourselves with these new advancements in tech, and grabbing that data like we were talking about, and really taking the best approach with what we have at hand. Now, with that said, we have gotten over the hump, per se, of the pandemic, but how has your company pivoted since the pandemic to really get a foothold moving forward?
Yeah, I think a lot of companies and firms in general, they had to change to the environment that is the new norm. And we were no exception to that. We are a very innovative firm, so we opened a lot of areas outside of foreclosure where we noticed our clients were perhaps had an opportunity to have some extra support there.
Sure.
So being connected to their need, I think that really helped us to be able to create, many different opportunities, back office to help with loss mitigation for that spike that came in, call centers, which is a very challenging world to be in. Very challenging. So it was kind of absolutely, it was very challenging, but it was also a blessing to kind of open up our eyes. It allowed us to take a breath, take a step back, and look at our clients' needs and come up with some solutions as well.
So what are some of the lessons you feel that your firm and even yourself took away from that kind of trying time?
I think what's critical is that just because things change or come to a grinding halt doesn't mean that problems still don't have to be solved. It's just a different conversation that you're having with your other business partners, right? And saying, how can we bring this solution? Here's the issue. You frame up the issue. You fully understand the issue, and you have to be an expert in that area. Otherwise, they'll be able to find someone that knows how to do it and do it right the first time. So we have to bring that to the table.
Certainly. What do you feel based on the audience and kind of the vibe of the panels that you sat in? What were some of those hard-hitting topics that you felt really impacted the audience during your labs?
That's a good question. First off, I saw excitement from people to be here. People were outgoing, coming up much more so.
Finally, right?
Finally. And I think everyone was ready for that.
Yeah.
That social aspect of our business is critical. And the relationship and the trust that's required to do what we do is astronomical. Yeah. So being able to see people in person, seeing them on the panels, right? They've had time through COVID, they've now caught up on all their readings, and they can share back that data to us. I thought it was extremely productive. I'm on the advisory committee for Legal League. Just a lot of time went into making it what it was. Yep. And so I'm very proud of what Jonathan and his team was able to do. So I think that was a very, very good and executed plan.
Did you get any feedback from any of the attendees after your panel?
Yes. So both from a law firm's perspective and a servicer perspective. We had a board meeting this morning and kind of debriefed. But the important parts were topics were on point. You had the expertise that was required. It was relevant what was going on right now. And then we had a couple of lessons learned, some minor things like longer breaks. Sure. Maybe extending out the day a little bit. Right. Those are things that we're working on just to make it a better experience for next time.
Excellent. Any advice for any of the legal side that's watching our show?
Best of luck.
Best of luck. Because, again, this is an interesting time period that we're going through. A lot of stuff on the horizon. And, of course, plugging in with Legal League, getting more involved is part of the business and networking. Where can they reach out to you?
Call my cell, 859-250-8036. No. Communication is critical. Yeah. At every level, it's critical. And that is what Legal League and the 5-Star bring, is that platform and that starting point. Without it, you would have to rely on personal relationships and having someone in Michigan and me in Texas, and we just don't have that. And so this is that great opportunity to bring people together.
Excellent. Any events on the horizon for you? Any big events coming up?
Oh my goodness, I have 4 kids that are all in sports, so my big events are running our company and making sure my family's happy. The events absolutely will happen, and as they do, we have the spring event coming up that we're planning for already, so we have to make sure that it goes as well as this one.
Fantastic. Well, you know what, we are extremely grateful for having you here. Again, thanks for joining the show. Look forward to speaking with you in the future and getting some information out there to help further the industry and those who serve.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
That's MP5, and I'm your host, Jordan Wendelken, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
MP5 is a resource for industry information. I hope you liked what you've been watching so far. If you have any questions, please reach out to events@the5star.com. Like, follow, and subscribe both YouTube and LinkedIn to stay up to date on all of our news and releases.